Okay, guys. So the strategies I'm gonna tell you guys today are manipulation strategies that most manipulators use to fuck with you. You got to be careful with people like this. I just dealt with someone like this, and they're really good at triggering your emotions. And what you have to understand is that some of these people are either one, do it consciously, or two, do it unconsciously. Hurt people a lot of the times do this unconsciously, right? People who've been played, people who've been manipulated, people who are extremely unhappy, people who have an avoiding attachment style. They do a lot of the strategies I'm gonna tell you guys unconsciously. So those are unconsciously toxic people. But then you have the worst ones, which are the ones that are doing it consciously, the ones that are doing it to try to get revenge, to hurt you. Both are equally bad, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, it's not your intent, it's a result of your actions that matters. Okay, remember, hell was paved with good intentions. All right, so we're going to talk about these manipulation strategies and how do you prevent them from affecting you so much. Well, you do that through practice and meditation, like the only way, because you can't react to their manipulations. If you react to their manipulations, you're pretty much falling in the trap. You got to react with to your own stimulation. So that because your reaction to their manipulation is literally what they want. You can't escape it. If you react to them, you do exactly what they want. Even if you think you're controlling it, you're not. So this is pretty much learning how to find another way to react. And this is what this video is all about. And if you guys want to learn how to react properly, check out the meditations that we did. We just uploaded one. If you are a YouTube member, you guys can watch it for free by joining the YouTube membership, or become a Patreon supporter. And then you not only will get the video, but also you get access to my live meditations where you guys can meditate with me on Zoom. Okay, so we just did one today. So join that, because that meditation would teach you guys how to not react to this, because these manipulation strategies work. There's a reason why people do it. And if you think they don't work on you, well, then that's exactly what they want you to think. The best people to manipulate are those who think they're not easily manipulated. All right, so let's begin. So the first one, and this is a very important one, because it's a very important one for the simple fact that. So the first one, we're gonna start from the highest to the lowest. Promise makers and breakers. This hurts you the most if you're someone who is very idealistic, who wants romance. These types of people promise things just to bring you down. Like they say shit just to say shit, just so that you could have that hope and then break it down. And what happens is that you get addicted. They gave you hope in those, and so that feeling is a positive addictive feeling. And you kind of hold on to it. You're like, I want to meet them. I want to do this. I want to do that. And when they break that promise, you stay because you invested so much in their promise. And now the next time they make a promise, you stay, but a part of you is anxious. A part of you doesn't know whether or not they're actually going to follow through. And that puts you in a very uncomfortable, insecure state that causes you to be very pliable and very, what's that word? Compliant to them. But the issue is that people who do this to you, you secretly want revenge. And so this is why these people who do this to other people, I can promise you, maybe they played you, but eventually they're gonna meet the wrong people. Eventually they're gonna meet someone who plays dirtier than them. And so you don't have to get revenge on people like that. If you've been played, because I've been played by people like this, don't get revenge. Like honestly, trust me, life gets back at them. You don't have to see the tears. Yeah, it's crazy. That literally happened to me today. Like that's why I'm making this video, right? And so what I learned is that you shouldn't really, you feel that anger inside of you, but it's okay. Allow it to disappear, right? Because you gotta understand, they're more miserable because they have that anger inside of them, and they'll never find liberation if they keep acting on it. It's just how it is. The next one, um, the attention whore. These people are people who will only talk to you, but will never meet you. They'll do everything but actually meet you in real life. And they're frustrating because you're talking, but it's not going nowhere. Let me tell you something. With people like that, get the fuck out. Don't entertain people like that. It never, and I repeat, it never works out. It never works out. Don't deal with attention horse. Ask them out, and if they can't see you, try again. And if there's always an excuse, walk away. Just walk away, man. Just walk away. Next one. But remember, with these types of people, don't attack them. Don't don't fulfill the urge to hurt them with your words. I'm telling you, I know it feels good, but what you are doing is that what's inside of them is going to be transferred inside of you, and you're literally going to become them. You liberate yourself from this pettiness and move on and don't entertain it. Let them suffer in their own unhappiness. The next one, the debilitator. This person tries to get you to be completely dependent on them, where they tell you to quit your job, they tell you to stop talking to your family, they do everything so that you completely depend on them. That is problematic. They might say they're doing it because they want to get closer to you, they're doing it because they want to love you more, when in reality, they're only doing this so that you can't walk away, so that it's harder to walk away. They'll lower your self-esteem so that you can completely depend on them. And that is problematic. These debilitators, in my opinion, usually are the most toxic ones because they know what they're doing. They'll have you have, like, as a guy, like, they'll have you buy cars for them. If you're a woman, they'll have you have kids with them so that you could completely depend on them. They'll have you depend on them financially 100% so that you can't walk away. Like, these types of people, if you find yourself in that situation, you'll notice that they're the debilitators because they tell you to do things that sort of put you in a corner. Don't let somebody put you in a corner, right? The next one is putting you in a sexually competitive state. This person tries to use competition, tries to compare you to somebody else, brings up the topic of another man or another woman just to get you to chase, just to get you to be jealous. I'll be honest with you, it depends how it's done. If they're doing it in a very soft way where they're just telling you how, like, my coworker did help me with this, nothing wrong with that, honestly. Like, you're gonna have to bring up the opposite sex eventually. But the ones that do that are those who flirt in front of your face, or those who threaten to leave you to get with somebody else, or those who are going out of their way to praise somebody else in front of you, or those who compliment people who have traits you don't have. Those are the toxic ones. And if that's the case, well, then it depends. If you barely know them and they're doing that, walk away. But if you know them and you have built trust already with them, talk to them about it. Say, hey, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, I know I get this, but the way you talk about it makes me feel insecure. Just talk about it and put a boundary on it. And if they do that again, take a step back. Don't tolerate that from people. Don't tolerate letting them compare you to somebody else when clearly you've told them you don't like that. Don't pull away. Let them know that you have inner strength. Right? Because then this reveals to you their character, to be honest with you. If they get mad at you telling them not to do that, then that tells you everything you need to know. The next one is the gaslighter. Oh, why you got to be so angry? That's no big deal. I'm just talking about my coworker. Why you got to be so jealous? Get the fuck out of here. Let me tell you something, man. If they're gaslighting you, get out. You get out. Don't even try. Don't try. There's no fixing that. Get out. Get out. Right? Get out. It's just that simple. Let me show you the story of this girl. I don't know how to bring it up because it's just so convoluted. But the point is that I think I blocked her, and when I was younger, I called her a fucking bitch and insulted her because she kept canceling, and I forgot that she did that. Right? We met randomly again. We tried to hook up, and she did the same shit. Like she would bring up, like, she would say things to try to get this date canceled. And a part of me, I was like, I'm getting angry at this, but I want to see how far she'll take it. And guess what? She did the same shit. And I'm like, damn, like, why is she doing that? Like, is it revenge? Well, my goal was to not react how I reacted to her in the past. Like, I really got on her. Like, I try to insult her body, like everything, because it just felt like she was doing it on purpose at that time. And to believe that she did that shit again, and I remember, like, today I was like, I mean, I just want to say something. And then I'm like, nah, Alexis, breathe, breathe. Don't react to that. It's just, this is her, she's repeating a pattern. Don't say mean things. And I did that, and she blocked me. But like, even that anger is still inside of me right now. But I have to just let it fade, fade, fade. And that's the thing, is that she will gaslight and say, "Hey, um, um, I think she thought I blocked her." And then she was like, "Hey, you blocked me? Why do you block me?" And I'm like, "Bitch, I didn't block you. I just changed my profile. Like, it's just changed it." And I'm like, "Why does she care so much, and yet she cancels so much?" Right? Like that, the hot and cold behavior. It's like, and I should have just ignored it. But I think my petty side just wanted to see. Why? And I'll be honest with you, I felt anger about what I was looking for. When I was like wanting to see, I felt anger. But I understood that this anger is inside of me, and she has nothing to do with me. If this anger wasn't inside of me, I wouldn't feel this way. She's not provoking this. This is me creating it, and me getting mad at her and insulting her is not gonna fix it. Just allow it to dissipate, Alexis, and you'll be completely liberated from this resentment that you have from about women who act like this. Be completely liberated from your own bitterness. And that is a beautiful thing, honestly. Like, even though I feel like she thinks she won, I mean, I'm only human, man. I also, from my higher self, I say to myself, good job, Alexis. I know you feel the urge, but good job. You're liberating yourself. And I think a part of me wants her to be miserable. But then I also realize that's also part of this emotion. It's not me wishing that. It's just this thing will just go away. And eventually I'll be filled with an immense compassion for her and a real desire for her to be happy. Despite how I feel now, I understand that this is how I'm going to feel. And so if I react to her manipulations with anger, man, I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna be possessed by the thing that's called by her unhappiness. And I don't say her unhappiness to be mean. I say that for the reality of it. And so that's how you really have to deal with these emotions. Like it's like racism. Like if people were racist towards you and you have kids, you're gonna tell your kids to hate those people because they hate you, and that's true. But then you gotta understand the racists eventually they're gonna grow out of it. Like now, like people will forget, but the victims of racism don't forget. And then a few years later, the people who only have racist sentiments were the victims of racism because they reacted with hatred. And the hatred doesn't go away. Right? You get what I mean? Like it's just how it is. The next thing, man, I still feel that shit inside, but hey man, it'll arise and pass away. Next thing is the wordsmith. The people who just tell you what you want to hear. The people who are just talkers and there is no actions behind it. You got to be careful with that. They're kind of similar to the promise makers and breakers. But these people tell you exactly what you want to hear. These people know you want a relationship and they'll tell you want a relationship. These people know that you want this type of relationship and they'll tell you, even though they don't want to give you that, even though that's not what they want, they tell you that because they know that's what manipulates you. It's the type of girl that tells you, oh God, oh Papi, you look so beautiful just to take his money. The wordsmith. It's very easy to manipulate people through words because words have a way of manipulating how we feel more than anything else. The next one, number 3, is the isolationist. This is the type of person that will tell you to stop being friends with your family, that will make an enemy out of your families and friends, that will tell you stop talking to this guy, stop talking to this girl, that will tell you to move out of your country, move in with me, that will completely, it's kind of similar to the debilitator, but this one is just more focusing on isolation. Well, they'll tell you your friends and family are just jealous of you. And so they create enemies out of nothing. And those types of people put you in a very weak position where you have no one to depend on but on them. Anytime you meet someone and they try to make an enemy out of your families and friends, walk away from them. Walk away because they're not good for you, right? Oh shit! I think haha. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Next one is the one who threatens the one who threatens to walk away. This one is kind of similar to the last girl that I told you guys about. And that's because she kind of like, it seemed like she really wanted, I don't know. It was just a weird sensation that I just morbidly wanted to explore. But it was almost like we were making a date and she'd be like, "Oh, hey, I want to bring my dog." And I'm like, "But we already made the reservation." She's like, "No, I want to bring my dog." And I'm like, "Look, I made the date. I invited you." Then she didn't respond. And I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I'm already noticing. I'm like, "Oh, she's doing that." And then she's like, "Well, I didn't respond," which she can't. She didn't even respond. She responded the next day because this is how I want to do it, and I want to do it that way. And I'm like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "Oh my lord!" And I'm like, and I remember she telling me she wanted marriage, and I'm like, "Listen, my love, I kept it going like because I just wanted to see if she was full of shit. Even though I knew she was, I just wanted to see." And that is a manipulation where you could sense that this person at any moment can leave, and so you kind of walk on eggshells, right? And so people like that, listen to me, man. You gotta let them walk away. A lot of the times we just stay because our ego is involved. But my ego was involved, right? And this is why I pay the price for that, right? Because you can't play with fire, right? When somebody does this to you, you have to open the door for them and just say, "Hey, there's the door. Walk away." The only reason why you stay is because of your ego. It's because of your ego. And a lot of times, there's nothing wrong with learning your lesson the hard way, like I did. It's totally fine. But eventually, if you keep going, they're gonna piss you off so much that you're gonna stay just to try to get revenge. And sometimes staying just to get revenge puts you even further in that hole. Walk away. I know you want them, and it feels anxiety, you not being able to fulfill this desire, but let them walk away. You're never going to be happy trying to make this happen. Never going to be happy. And the next one is the love bomber. Um, I'm gonna include a bonus one. The love bomber, bonus. The love bomber starts off fast and ends fast. Be careful with that. The solution for people like this, just slow them down. Just say, "Hey, slow the fuck down. Slow the fuck down. Slow down. I want you to be a little slower. I want you to not speed things up." These types of people, they thrive in acceleration. You take away their power by literally slowing them down. And if you slow them down, you'll see in their face they get pissed off. The next one is the cold narcissist. This person, you like them for some reason, and this person acts cold towards you. This type of person is either one, they don't like you, and so they look like they're narcissists because they just don't like you, and they're just there, or two, they're narcissists and their coldness attracts you to them. The way to deal with this is that only go for people who make you feel good. Like, for example, in my case, if I would have followed this rule, I would have realized, okay, this situation, I don't like the way this feels. I could feel anger from her. It's not a good feeling. I don't like it. So because of that, rather than try to stay just to see what would happen, like my goofy ass self did, walk away. Don't scratch that itch. I wanted to scratch the itch. Itches, itches arise and pass away. Don't scratch it. Just walk away, and you'll notice that, yeah, you feel a desire to go back, but eventually you're gonna forget. Look at everyone that you've blocked on your phone, right? Go back and look at the people who you blocked. Do you remember why you blocked them? You don't. Things eventually arise and pass away. And if you just believe that, these toxic people won't get their hooks on you. Because if you let that happen, you literally become dumb. Don't let that happen to you. Be more love. Be more happiness. Be the type of person that spreads happiness rather than resentment and anger. All right? Anyways, remember, the love bombers, the one who walks away, the isolationist, the wordsmiths, the gaslighter, putting you in a sexually competitive state, debilitators, the attention whores, the promise makers and breakers. These are the manipulation strategies, and these are the strategies on how to deal with it. The best way to overcome this is not to battle fire with fire. Don't do that. Practice meditation. If you guys want a free meditation retreat, go to dama.org. There, you guys will be able to sign up for a free meditation retreat or check out my courses, Emotional Mastery, or become a Patreon supporter, or yeah, become a patron supporter, and you'll be able to get access to my meditations. And on YouTube, become a join the YouTube group, the YouTube fucking the membership. And I just uploaded a meditation, so join the membership and you'll be able to have access. All right,